We asked her an important question. We asked her, did you read the cables asking for more security? And she said no, and I said, I just can't imagine. If I had been president, I would have relieved you of office. Without question, that is a dereliction of duty. Now they will say, well, you know, they did a review board, the ambassador said, well, those decisions did not rise up to her level. Well, that's precisely her culpability. How many countries are there in the world more dangerous than Libya? They should have risen to her level. I'm a physician. If you come in through the emergency room, there are people triaging you, but if you come in with a stiff neck and a temperature of 105 degrees, it's my job to make sure the people out there know that you have to get back to see me. It is her job. When you talk about one of the most dangerous countries in the world, and they repeatedly ask for more security, and she doesn't get involved and acts like, it's kind of like the president, oh, I know nothing. I know nothing about it. It's inexcusable. And here's the thing, then they come back and say, oh, well, Republicans didn't provide us with enough money. Back in May, about 4 months before this happened, there was a request for a DC-3 to stay in the country, for ferrying people around the country to leave. They denied the request. 4 days later, they did approve $100,000 for an electrical charging stations because they were greening up the embassy at Vienna. So they've got money to show off for their European socialist friends about how we're greening up the planet with this electrical charging station for 10 cars that cost, on average, you pay for these also, you subsidize these electrical cars, $250,000 per car. So that's what we're doing with the money, but we don't have enough. And I said, well, why didn't you have more Marines? In fact, I'd give her more choice words. I'd say, where in the hell were the Marines? And her answer is, oh, the Marines are there to guard the paper. And I said, well, that's a bit insulting to any Marine I've ever met. I think they're capable of guarding more than the paper. She said, well, that's what they always do. Well, here's my point. Benghazi's not Paris. And this is what they've completely missed on the review board. The review board went through it and had 64 good, suggestions of things we should have done better. But they missed one whole point. Benghazi's not Paris. Benghazi should have been treated, and still should be to this day, treated like Baghdad. It should be under military control, not State Department control. That is what the president can. When I think of all these scandals, I sort of think of old MacDonald, had a farm, sort of old MacDonald's farm of scandals. Here a scandal, there a scandal, everywhere. So it's hard to know which scandal we want to talk about. But I think they all sort of stem from one problem, that's that the government has accumulated too much power. The president has accumulated too much power, not just this president, but maybe the last 10 presidents, because we've allowed that power to go from Congress to the presidency. We've allowed the presidency to become too strong. Lincoln had an admonishment. He said, nearly any man can stand adversity, but if you want to challenge a man, give him power. I think the president's failing that test of power. Any person who would oversee, he says he didn't know anything about it, but the word keeps getting out that a lot more people knew about it than they're letting on. Any person who would use the power or abuse the power of government to go after their political opponents, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent, to take that brute force, that bullying force of government, and to use it against your opponents, there is something distinctly and profoundly un-American about that.